Well, fans, it's that time of year again. It's the time all college basketball fans wait for. You know what time of year it is? It's March Madness. And boy, it is madness, especially with all the conference tournaments leading up to the big dance. And the thing is, I think Boeheim must have listened to my ranting and raving last week, especially after that pitiful performance against Georgetown in the regular season final. The Orange decided to go on a run, almost like the 2006 Big East Tournament. I mean, it was a run, and it was fun while it lasted. First, even though we had difficulty with them in the beginning of the game, we eventually got past and pulled away from Seton Hall in our opening game. Good win in what is probably our final game for a while against the Pirates. Then we go on and we take on a pretty darn good Pittsburgh team. And I mean, Pittsburgh beat us in the regular season, but again, we showed Pittsburgh and its coach, who always likes the slick back hair look, that you don't mess with the Orange on their good day. They took out the Panthers in the quarterfinals. And who was waiting for us in the semifinals? Well, lo and behold, it's our good friends, our old rivals. You know, that regular season final left a very bitter taste in our mouth. So bitter a taste, it was like a frog when he gets a hold of a nasty fly. Oh, man! I could get without! But you know, the ending almost left a bitter taste in Orange fans' mouth. 'Cause you know what? We reverted back to our 80s days. When we wanted to salt the game away, we can't make our free throws. Boy, I mean, that was really close there. But we did beat the Hoyas. But come on, Syracuse. You want to give every Orange fan a cardiac arrest while you're at it? Boy, the people there where I was watching the game heard me yelling and screaming. I mean, I'm like, make a GD free throw, will you? Come on. Well, you know, they had to heave it from half court. Didn't make it. But you know what? It's good to beat the Hoyas in what might be our final meeting against the Hoyas for a while. 'Cause no matter what, even though we may change conferences, the Hoyas are still the enemy. And they always will be the enemy for the Orange. But then came the final against Louisville. And the thing is, it just seemed to me like midway part of the way through the second half, when we were up 16, it seemed as though we decided to do what Mel Blanc would do imitating a car. We just ran out of gas. That's exactly what it seemed like the Orange did. They just ran out of gas. I don't think they just decided to put up. I mean, I think they tried a little bit, but they did kind of put up a little bit. And Louisville caught past us and ran away with the Big East title. Would have been great to win the Big East title in our final go-around, but hey, that was a great run. And now it's time for the big dance. And I mean, in the big dance, we're now the number 4 seed in the East. But guess what? We have to go all the way to San Jose, California. Who thinks up of the locations for the brackets? We have to go all the way to San Jose to play the Big Sky champion, the Montana Grizzlies. And I mean, Montana's been a pretty darn good team there in the Big Sky Conference the last 3 years. They've won the Big Sky title the last 3 years. And the thing is, some people say Montana could be ripe to upset the Orange. Looking at their lineup, I mean, Montana has a couple pretty good shooters. and a couple players that could exploit Syracuse's weakness. But I think that Syracuse's talent will win out over the Grizzlies. But those Grizzlies are probably going to give the Orange all that they can handle. You gotta watch out for those little guys. I mean, one of the things I love about this is why they call it March Madness. You never know what could happen in the big dance. So the little guys could take out the big guys. And unfortunately, twice over the years, it's happened to the Orange, a la Richmond and a la Vermont. But let's not hope Montana decides to take out the Orange. Because if we take out these Bears, some more Bears could be waiting for us in the next round. We'll either play UNLV or California in the next round. California is the Golden Bears. Losing to either the Grizzlies or the Golden Bears might be just unbearable. I need to work on my bear growl a little bit. But I mean, it's just one tournament, and I go from talking about the Orange into my next subject. What's with all these tournaments? I mean, heck, we got the NCAA Tournament for the men's and the women's, but we got 3 other tournaments for the men. I mean, the NIT's been around as long as the NCAA Tournament, that I can see. Other teams, I think, deserve a chance to be in the postseason. But I mean, hey, Kentucky couldn't make it into the NCAA tournament. And you know what? I'm not crying over that. But they're a number 1 seed in one bracket of the NIT. Let's just hope Robert Morris can take out John Calapuke. But I mean, there's also the CBI and the CIT. Why? I don't know. Maybe you better ask John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown about that. And of course, there's the 2 other tournaments for the women. You've got the WNIT and the WBI. 7 tournaments to keep track of. With all these acronyms, it might be a lot of BULL, if you ask me. Let's talk about spelling, shall we? Thing is, I keep seeing it day after day. I mean, hey, people texting on their cell phones and people calling on their cell phones. Hey, there you go. TTYL. OMG. I mean, TY for thank you. What's the matter? Don't you know how to type out the name? Hey, it looks like a lot of BULL for that to me. Well, you know what? If anybody decides to do one of those things, this is what I'm going to say. SHUTUP. YOUPAININTHEASS. You figure that out. And I'm going to close my show by talking about this. Heck, I know it was a tragic story when Davis there, that quarterback who led Oklahoma there to the 1974 national title, died in one of those plane crashes over this past weekend. But the thing is, why do reporters, or why do people they interview, have to use euphemisms when talking? Why can't they just say the direct word? I mean, hey, why can't they just say he died? Heck, it was negative patient outcome, or a terminal episode. Somewhere along the way, we started changing words. Partly cloudy became partly sunny. Toilet paper became bathroom tissue. Poor people used to live in slums. Now low-income facets of society live in substandard housing in the inner cities. And also, with wars, shell shock became battle fatigue, became operational exhaustion, became post-traumatic stress disorder. 2 to 4 to 8 to 8 syllables, and they had a hyphen. And thanks to our fear of death, I won't have to die. I'll pass away. Or it might be negative patient outcome if I'm in a hospital, or a terminal episode if I'm in an accident. I tell you, all of this soft language makes me want to vomit. Well, maybe not vomit. Makes me want to engage in an involuntary personal protein spill. And you know what? That is the termination of this episode. Excuse me, the end. I'm Ken Haas, and that's my rants for this week. Let's go Orange.